Hey guys, Garney here. How you doing today? Happy Friday and the first official start of summer for school's out. Yeah, it was kind of neat yesterday. Bittersweet moment. My daughter graduated high school, so we actually got to enjoy that. So congratulations to you, sweetie. And my son obviously completed his first year of college, which is really cool. Hey, you know what? I wanted to share something with you guys, which is really interesting. I learned something yesterday. Can you believe it? I'm still learning. Yesterday, no matter where you stand on the Paris Accord, on the United States being part of it or not part of it, no matter where you stand, now, I posted a comment on my stance on Facebook last night, and I learned two big things out of it. It was just, and this, again, this is really toward my Facebook friends. So thank you guys who participated, who added content, who basically it was a deluge. I mean, it was, I've never, out of the many years of being on Facebook, I've never had that kind of response. I mean, I had all those people hit my Facebook page, people I know hit my page and went with pros, cons, cons, pros. I mean, it was just amazing. It really was. And I tell you, the most important thing that I found out about my friends is that, you know what, they are good people. They think. I know a lot of intelligent people. I mean, you guys, it's amazing when you can actually get a bunch of people with differing positions, different ideas, and be able to have a conversation and discussion around it. Nothing like the Evergreen College, nothing like, the anti-fascist groups or anything else like. No, there was only one instance of that, but we won't worry about. That's just one out of hundreds of comments. But I want to say it was really neat because you can actually have a conversation on Facebook. Now, at first, I was overwhelmed, but at the same time, it was engaging because you know what? I learned some things. My position is I would like us to stay in the Accords. That's just the way it is. I feel I'm a conservationist. I'd rather us do something for the environment, and I get it. But there was a lot of people out there who are on the other side that said we should have come out, and they educated me on their point of view, which is cool. I mean, they did everything from the political stance to the money aspects of it to whatever it was, and I learned quite a few things. Now, of course, the folks that I sided with, they gave me a lot of additional information for my position. What was really nice is that a friend of mine, he talked about a mountain. We both want to climb the mountain, but we're looking at the face of the mountain from two different angles. If you're on one side of the mountain, northern face, there may be a specific set of paths that way. If I'm on the southern side of the face of the mountain, there's another path to go up the mountain. But we still want to achieve the same thing. So that leads me to point number two about this is that I didn't realize, and it was encouraging, that how many people were, how should I say, concerned, aware, involved, reading, thinking, discussing about the environment, which is pretty cool if you think about that. It gave me the insight that, no matter which side of the mountain you're on, what face, we all want the betterment of our environment. I mean, I said one thing about, political, not, let's not make this political, but a friend of mine did say, if the government's involved or the UN and the other countries are involved, it becomes a political thing. And I get that. And of course, when it comes to tax monies and all this other good stuff, it becomes a political topic. But for me, it was so enlightening to learn about one side, learn more about the other side, learn that people are engaged, and this is very passionate for them. So, thumbs up to you guys. I big respect, and I love the fact that when the dust started to settle, it was great to read comments of people who were like, I'm glad you brought this up, or I'm glad we had discussions, or they made comments, other people made comments of how civil discussions were. So guys, thank you. Really appreciate that going on from there. Now, so let's move on to something else. Not as it was enlightening. It's cool. I like it. But let's move on to something I actually am very passionate about, and that's technologies that are out there. So I use a OnePlus 3T cell phone. If you guys don't know who OnePlus is, several years ago, they were the flagship killer. They came out with a phone called the OnePlus One, and it was an inexpensive phone. It was in the $300 range, and it had specs that were kick butt. In fact, it had specs in it that even the high end phones had, but it was very low strike price, and it was a phone to get. Now, they weren't as popular, so they had to control manufacturing processes, or it was a genius marketing move on their part, where it was only an invite system where people wanted to get the phone, and people would trade invites or buy invites or whatever else. But there were only a certain limited number of these phones, and I was very fortunate to get one, and I loved that phone. So fast forward, they came out with a OnePlus 2. I didn't purchase that because my OnePlus 1 was still a rocking phone. In fact, I went from the OnePlus 1 to the Nexus 6P a year later, and I loved that phone. So at the same time, so the OnePlus 2 and the 6P came around, and you know what? I decided to go with the Nexus, the Google phone. So roll forward again, here we are, and last year it was October, I believe it was, that when the OnePlus 3T came out, I purchased that phone, and I still use it. I still love it. But here's what's coming out, guys. The reason why I'm bringing all this history is that in the next couple of months, OnePlus is going to be releasing a new phone called the OnePlus 5. Well, that's what the rumors are, and there's a lot of foundations behind that. You're like, oh, wait a minute, Garden. Wasn't there a OnePlus 1, a OnePlus 2, a OnePlus 3, a OnePlus 3T? Now you're going to skip 4? Well, in the Chinese cultural society aspects, 4 is an unlucky number. So they went to 5, which is fine. I call it whatever you want. But it's supposed to have something really neat in it, and that is, again, the history of OnePlus coming out with great devices, having a great community, and having closest to near Android experience from their OS point of view in the recent years has really drawn a lot of attention. And so now that OnePlus is coming out with this version 5, I am really intrigued because it has what they call the Snapdragon 835 chipset, which is the new chipset from Qualcomm. And obviously faster. Can you imagine having a phone with 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, having the latest LTE antennas that are on there, latest Wi-Fi antennas that are on there? So, over 3,000 milliamp hour batteries. In fact, what rumors have said is that this phone is supposed to have a 3,300 milliamp hour battery, 100 milliamp less than the current 3T. But then again, remember the 835 chipset is supposed to be sipping energy. Sipping current. In other words, it's not supposed to be consuming as much as older generations. If you pull out a phone out of 2 years ago and try to compare it with a phone today, the phones today, even though they may have smaller battery capacity, they may last longer because the chips are more efficient at eating or consuming energy. So I'm excited about it. Also, this is OnePlus's first foray into having dual cameras on the back. We talk about dual. In fact, the new Apple 8, the new i7s, the i8s are coming out. They're coming up with LG's come out with dual cameras. They're for wide angles, or they're for more crisp night shots. Whatever it is, this is OnePlus's first foray into dual camera mode. There's some leaked photos out on the internet. You guys can go take a look at that if you do a search on OnePlus, one word, have it one word, OnePlus 5, and hit rumors. You'll hit lots of articles. In fact, I highly recommend going out to our friends over at Android Authority and reading up on them. They got a comprehensive list of things that they know. They feel very, very confident that's going to be in this phone. So when will this phone come out? I'm anticipating, just like everyone else, is late summer, maybe even August. And if you ask me, Garney, are you interested? Well, duh. That's why I'm talking about it. That's why I'm talking about it. So, guys, I don't want to spend too much time on things. I'm really glad I'm back on YouTube. I've been kind of getting life has just been a distraction for me, so I just wanted to stop and settle down and say, you know what, I need to get back to things I enjoy, and that is doing reviews. Like, for example, right there on the desk here, I've got a headset that a company sent me, and they said, hey, could you do a review on another Bluetooth headset? I just released 2 videos 2 days, in the last 2 days, focusing on, an intelligent Wi-Fi, smart outlets, power outlets, so you can manage your outlets or devices on outlets from your phone. Also, Bluetooth headset from yesterday, which I really enjoyed from Arch here. I got this one that I've got to review. We've got things coming up. I want to do a review on these headsets. I hope these sound very good. I've had it for quite a few months. I use it for gaming. I use it for phone calls and conference calls. I'll do a review on these pretty soon, and that's the box right there that you see. Also want to share my experience that, as you can see from the box up here, I've got Google Fiber. I know you can't read it because this is only a 720 camera, but I've got Google Fiber here at the house, and I'm using Google Wi-Fi for my connectivity. So I want to share my experiences there with you. I also have bought a standing desk, which I thought was pretty cool. In fact, that's the desk that's here right now. I want to share that with you guys if you're interested in it, because if you go out and look on Amazon or anywhere else for standing desks, they can be very expensive if you're not sure what you're looking for. So I want to again share my thoughts there. Guys, I want to say I'm glad to be back. For those of you who are watching this, thank you. I really do appreciate it. For those of you who are watching, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. If there are topics that you want me to discuss, here's also another thing I wanted to share with you. There's this gentleman on YouTube who I follow and watch almost every day. His name is Philip DeFranco, and a huge YouTuber. And what I love about his show is that he presents both sides of any topic. Sometimes it's just internet sensationalism. Something happens, and then he does some research, or he and his staff do research, and they present both sides. Also, there's a specific news things. Like, he even talked about the Paris Accords himself, and he talked about one side versus the other side, and presented both the facts. And he's asking the community, I think he's over almost 2 million subscribers, I believe, or over that, where he's asking people to comment about it. And again, it's a discussion, not something that, hey, I'm only going to present this side. That's what I respect about him. And he's also starting a news channel. Yeah, a news channel. Think about it. A news. I like what he's thinking here. Is stepping out of the box. You've got traditional mainstream media who fits a specific mold, and they're going to talk about their specific narrative. It's not crowdsourced. It's sensationalism. It's mainly for clicks and ad revenue. Well, Philip is trying to step away from the mainstream media side and create his own news network that's really crowdsourced based. That's really driven by what we're concerned about. These are or enlightenment, or he's bringing up topics that he thinks is important, and that we have a conversation about it. And if he continues down the path of talking about one side of the topic and presenting the other side of the topic so we can make our own decisions, that will be awesome. I think critical thinking is a very important trait that we all should have. I love the fact that when I talk with my kids or my wife, if they have a dissenting opinion according to mine, we have a discussion. Sometimes I get old, but it's really cool to see my kids, when they discuss things with me, they think through it. They have their own thoughts, their own opinions. And I encourage that, even if they're opposite of what I believe in. It's their thoughts, and I love that. And in fact, sometimes there was a joke I had with another friend on Facebook that he loves his kids having critical thinking too. And I'm like, yeah, well, just wait for the day that they call you out and you're wrong, and they instruct you on it, and they give you the reasons why, and you change your thoughts. It's a bittersweet moment, right? You lose that I'm the authority as the parent. Now you are being schooled by your kids, which has already happened a few times here at the house. All that good stuff. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great Friday, great weekend. You know what? Look for more videos. I'm going to try to get back. I don't know if I'm going to go back to 5 days a week or every day of the week or just 2 or 3 times. I'm just trying to get myself back into it, try to fit my life and this passion of mine about sharing things, tech reviews and things like that on YouTube. Anyway, guys, have a great weekend. We'll talk to the other side, okay? I know it's a short one, but more coming later. We'll talk to you real soon. Peace.